Hello everyone. Among the many famous celebrity actors we've loved, Joe Don Baker stood out, not for glamour, but for grit, honesty, and unforgettable presence. From Walking Tall to GoldenEye, he gave us characters we believed in and moments that stayed with us. And now, in 2025, we look back not just to remember, but to honor. Let's revisit the legacy he left behind and the timeless force he brought to every frame. In Walking Tall, 1973, Joe Don Baker portrayed Sheriff Buford Pusser, a real-life Tennessee lawman who took on organized crime with a big stick and unshakable resolve. Baker's gritty, uncompromising performance captured the spirit of 1970s America, raw, restless, and ready for justice. The film's success turned him into a cult icon and helped redefine the vigilante hero archetype in American cinema. From one gritty lawman to another, Baker continued his streak of tough guy roles. In The Outfit, 1973, Joe Don Baker played Cody, a tough, loyal partner to Robert Duvall's character in a gritty tale of revenge and underworld justice. His performance brought quiet menace and dry wit, balancing muscle with method in a role that showcased his underrated range. Staying in the crime genre, Baker's next role pushed the anti-hero to new levels. In Mitchell, 1975, Joe Don Baker starred as Detective Mitchell, a rough-edged, no-nonsense cop who plays by his own rules while investigating a tangled web of corruption and murder. With gruff charisma and deadpan delivery, Baker brought a blue-collar authenticity to a character who felt more tired than heroic, making him oddly human and memorable. And when that wasn't intense enough, he took justice into his own hands, literally. Inframed, 1975, Joe Don Baker delivered a gritty, vengeful performance as Ron Lewis, a gambler framed for a crime he didn't commit. After surviving prison, Lewis returns with one goal: revenge, and Baker's portrayal burns with righteous fury and quiet desperation. Just 2 years later, Baker traded prison walls for asphalt highways. In Speed Trap, 1977, Joe Don Baker played Pete Novick, a street-smart private investigator chasing down a car theft ring across the American Southwest. Baker infused Novick with signature swagger, equal parts charm, grit, and quiet determination, making the film more than just a typical 70s cop caper. might have slowed down on the streets, but on the baseball field, he left a lasting impression. In The Natural, 1984, Joe Don Baker portrayed the Whammer, a brash Babe Ruth-like slugger whose early encounter with Roy Hobbs, Robert Redford, becomes a defining moment. Though his role is brief, Baker's commanding presence sets the tone for Hobbs' legend to unfold, his arrogance making Hobbs' quiet power shine brighter. From the stadium to the station, Baker was back in uniform, but this time on the wrong side of the law. In Fletch, 1985, Joe Don Baker played Chief Jerry Carlin, a corrupt police chief entangled in a complex web of cover-ups and shady dealings. Baker brought his signature intensity to the role, blending menace with moments of dry humor. As Fletch, Chevy Chase, unraveled the conspiracy, Baker's Carlin became the perfect foil, dangerous, unpredictable, and quietly menacing. But even the toughest men face danger, and sometimes fear itself. In Cape Fear, 1991, Joe Don Baker played Claude Cursec, a no-nonsense private investigator hired to protect the Bowden family from Max Cady's escalating threats. Baker's grounded, world-weary performance added realism and moral weight to a film full of psychological tension. Opposite Robert De Niro's unhinged villain, Baker offered a calm, competent counterbalance, making his fate in the film all the more sobering. And just when you thought his days of danger were done, he stepped into the world of espionage. In GoldenEye, 1995, Joe Don Baker portrayed Jack Wade, a wisecracking CIA agent and unlikely ally to James Bond. Bringing levity and laid-back American flair to the Bond universe, Baker's Wade was charming, pragmatic, and unapologetically unrefined. He served as a comic counterweight to Pierce Brosnan's smooth 007, earning fan affection through sheer authenticity. In Tomorrow Never Dies, 1997, Joe Don Baker reprised his role as CIA agent Jack Wade, bringing humor, grit, and old-school charm to the Bond universe. Paired again with Pierce Brosnan's suave 007, Baker's Wade served as the no-nonsense American counterpart, informal, practical, and deeply reliable. Though he wasn't flashy, his presence grounded the action and gave Bond a rare ally who felt like a real person, not just a plot device. Share and subscribe for more updates on your favorite celebrities and classic movies.